Hey guys, now is the time to practice and evaluate yourselves. In this class, we learn how to do some fun assignments, some fun Python problems. For that, you do not need anything else. We have provided with you all of these things in the Newton School portal itself. All these things, and if you successfully complete the course, you will get a certificate. All of these things are free for you. So let's move ahead. And before that, let me just talk about functions because we'll be using functions to do the assignments that I am about to give to you. So if you remember, we had talked about functions in our first class. We learned about what functions are. Functions are nothing but a set of commands that you can call repeatedly without having to define those commands again and again. So if you remember the example that I gave of your mother taking you to a shop or basically the market and teaching you how to do vegetable shopping. Once she has told you how to do it, next time she doesn't need to give you the same instructions again. She'll just say, oh Siddharth, go to the market and buy these list of veggies for me. So those are functions. Let's see how we define them in the Python code itself. I'll clear up my previous code. Now to define functions, Python has provided a syntax which is very simple. We just need to write def, which stands for define. The keyword, this is a reserved keyword used by Python, and when you write it, Python understands that you're talking about a function. We have to write the name of the function. In this case, let's just try to write a function that returns us a square, area of a square whenever we are provided it with its side. So what we'll write the name of the function as area of square, and then I'll put in round braces and the parameter that I want. In this case, I want the side of the square. So I'll write just side over here. And then I'll put a colon over here. And basically from the next line, I will, by providing a tab over here or some spaces, I'll start writing my code over here. Okay. So area in this case, we know as side into side. Now, once we have calculated this area, we need to return it back. So for example, if your mother sends you to the market, okay, she asks you to bring these veggies. So you come back and give her the, the items that you have purchased from the market. So you need to return those things to the mother. So some functions may have some return values in which basically you are, whoever called that function, you come back and give that value back to the caller, or otherwise some functions you do not need to have return value. That is, for example, if your mother asks you to get out of the house, you don't need to return her anything. You just need to quietly, without arguing anything, just need to get out of the house. So if you leave this function right now, it is basically a function without return value. To return something, it's very simple. You need to just write the keyword return and the value that you want to return. In this case, we'll simply write return area because we want to return the area. Once in this function, when this function is executed, when you call on return, the function will stop executing. So this is very important thing to remember, and I'll talk about it in detail once again. Let me just show how to execute this function now. So to call this function, it's very simple. You just need to write the name of the function and pass some parameter. Okay. Like in the case of operator, you can either pass a direct value or you can also pass in a variable. So now what we have done is we have just, use this function, and it will return some value. So now we'll have to either store this value somewhere or do something with it. If we write it simply, it will also work. Let me just show you. It will work, but Python doesn't know what to do it. It will just execute it, it will calculate the value and go ahead. But you need to do something with it. So in this case, we'll print it. So basically we have chained two functions. I'll come to that. But if you observe, we have chained it. So area of a square with the side 5 is 25. So we have gotten this accurate result over. So now what is happening over here is when you have defined this function, when you have written this code, what you have done is basically you have defined this function. And now when you are using it over here, you are basically calling this function. So your mother has defined the vegetable purchasing function in you. And now she calls that function whenever she wants to order you to go to the market and order things. So she can now call it again and again. So in this case, let's say we want to get the area of a square, which is 8. And what we'll get over here is basically 64. So we can call it as many times with as many values or same values. It doesn't matter. With 9, we get 81. Now let me come back to the defining part. Okay. So whenever we want to define a function, we just need to write def. And we need to write the name of the variable followed by a round braces. Whenever there's a word which is not a reserved keyword and a round braces, Python understands it is about a function, whether you are trying to declare a function, define a function, or basically whether you are trying to call a function. And then inside these brackets you need to supply the parameters. Okay, what are these parameters? Parameters are basically just values through which you try to control the execution of the function. So in the case of vegetables market, your mother can ask you basically, to take the list of veggies and go out. She can also ask you to take the list of veggies as well as another list of, let's say, ration items. So either both the things she can pass you two parameters. So how do you put in two parameters? It's very simple. You put in using commas. So you write comma over here and you write the name of another variable. So for example, you can write side2. If it were an area of rectangle, you can do that. I'll give you this as an assignment, but for now, just you need to understand that if you want multiple parameters, you just need to write comma separated. And after that, very importantly, you need to put a colon. So once you put in the colon, basically you have started to define the scope or the block of the code that will be executed when this function is called upon. Now whatever is inside this, and with appropriate spaces or indentation in the starting. If you remember the starting part, I talked about blocks of code, and basically how these blocks of code are grouped together using indentation. Different languages have got different ways to group together a piece of code. In Python, you do that by providing same indentation or basically the same space before the starting of this line. In this case, let's say if I were to write this thing with two spaces first and then four spaces, it won't work. It will give me an error. So as you can see over here, it doesn't unexpected indent. So I need to put in proper indentation. I can also have both of them having two spaces. That will work. But you need to have them on the same indentation level for them to be considered as single block of code. Otherwise, you will get indentation error. In Python, usually you can try to use either four spaces or tabs. So four spaces or tabs is a very popular convention in Python to basically declare a block of code. Now what is happening over here is whenever you call this function, this variable is not a global variable in the sense that this variable that you have put in over here, whatever value you call over here is supplied to it temporarily. Okay, every time a new instance of this variable is created and it is available only inside this particular function. If you try to access it outside this function, you will get an error. Okay, so this is a temporary variable which is whose scope is to be only work upon inside this particular function. So let me just try to print this function outside this declaration, and once I do it, as you can see over here, we have got an error because side is not defined. So this is not something that you can access from outside. This is a temporary thing which is created for every function call that you do. So when you call area of square 5, basically a new temp variable side is created which is accessible only inside it. Same with 8, a new variable is created and which is accessible only inside the Python function. Now if you recall, in the starting also I mentioned that order is very important. When the Python interpreter or the clerk comes, it must first know that whatever you are trying to invoke is already present. So in this case, for example, if you define the Python function, before you actually call it, it will work. But if you define it after you have called it, it won't work. So for example, if I move it, to the below part, and if I try to run it, as you will see over here, we'll get an error. So it says basically name area of square is not defined. It's like basically, when you're a kid, your mother hasn't taught you how to go to market and buy veggies. And she has first only told you go and buy, veggies. Go to the market and buy veggies. So you'll say, okay, I don't know how to do that. So first you need to be taught. And that is why even, the ordering is very, very important over here. So that's all about functions. Functions are going to be of extreme use and you are going to use them extensively. Just remember, there are three important components over here. I'll just write for your sake. One is the name, which is basically used for you. You can have any name, and it will still work. These names are just for humans. But as I told you, you are here to become a job ready coder. And industry coders who are working in industry have a very good sense of code. They write code that others can also understand. So name is important, but for you can have any name over here. Then the parameters. Okay, parameters are what you supply to the function, which can be used within the function to manipulate the result. And obviously the return value. So return value is also very important. Now, if you recall, I told you that once you return it, okay, once you return a function, once you provide the return command, it won't be executed any further. Let me just demonstrate it to you. I'll over here, write before area, before return, and over here I'll write after return. So basically I put in two print statements, and one I have, executed after returning, and one I have executed before. Now when I run this, as you can see over here, every time before run statement has run, but not after run. So this ordering over here is very important. Everything has to become before returning, a value over here. I'll just restore it back. So this one is all about functions. You can think about functions in your daily life, what all you will face. So for example, an area of rectangle, an area of circle, simple interest, all of these things can be done using functions. I'll also give them to you as an assignment now. Let's see how we can do assignments on Newton School portal. Open up the Newton School portal in which you have been, so far accessing the playground by typing in my.newtonschool.co. So it's your personal dashboard in which you will get access to all the things that you are doing, all your courses, playgrounds, everything. If you see, there are two tabs. If you remember this, there's a playground tab which you were accessing so far, and there's a tracks tab which you will find use of now. So if you go below, you will see a more track section here. You will see other different kinds of things. You will see contests. You will also see the courses, various courses. You see over here, there's a Newton School's Introduction to Python Programming, and over there it will be labeled free. Just click on apply, and you'll be asked to fill the application. Just fill in the details. Just basic details: the college from which you are, your stream, the graduation years, and just fill something over here. Now I'll just quickly fill things up randomly over here and go ahead. And if you see over here, you can now click here to go to the timeline and see further instruction. Now if you click here for more details, basically you will be taken to the course. Once you are inside the course, you will see something like this, our typical course page over here. If you see over here, basically if you go down, you will see a functions and first assignment, the video that we are talking about right now. And if you click over here, you will see, there's an assignment over here related to operators, the things that we have studied so far. Click on start assignment, and just click on take test. Over here, you will see area of square Python. And now over here, given a side of a square, your task is to calculate its area. Let's just start this question. Click on start now. Once you're inside, you'll see a lengthy page like this. You will see the part where we have specified the problem, the part where your code goes, the familiar part, and then there are multiple test cases against which your program will run. Let's cover each and every one of them now. So first part you will see over here, basically you have been told the problem statement. Given a side of a square, your task is to calculate its area. Now since this will be a function problem, you don't have to take input. You just have to complete the function area that takes a side of a square as a parameter. On the constant side, you have been told that as an input, you will be provided a number between 1 to 100. So the side of the square cannot be greater than 100, cannot be less in negative numbers. You just have to print the area of the square. So we have been told that we have to print the area of the square. Remember, we don't have to return its value by completing the function, but we have to print the area of the square. What we have been, as a sample input, we have been told that, when the sample input is 3, you will get the sample output as 9. When the sample input is 6, the sample output will be 36. In the code part, if you come over here, you will see that you have been provided some code already, which is define area side. That is a function signature has been provided to you already. Now we just need to complete this code. Now for the first time, we are going to use this custom input part. What happens over here is we have taken some care of some things in the backend. What will happen is whatever input you provide, a single number, if you write over here, it will be directly passed to this function as a parameter. So this is something that our system has taken care of. Okay, so you do not need to worry about it. You just need to write custom input over here. And now I print side over here, and if I run it over here, you will see that, it is printing out the side over here. Now this program needs a custom input to run, and that to only single number. If I remove this custom input and try running it, you will see that, there's an error. So now we just need to complete our function, and for that it's very simple. We just need to write print side into side. So that gives us the right output, okay? Because we need to just calculate the area of the square, which is side into side. Let me just try it out with 6, and I'll see that it's working correctly. Let me just consider some edge cases. That is when the side is 100. What happens is std out is 1000. It's fine. Now when I run it with 1, the square of the area is 1. So this code of mine is running correctly. At least for the simple input output, it is running correctly. Now if you go below, you will see that there are multiple test cases, and your program will be evaluated against each of them. The function that we have used right now is very simple one, but a lot of times you'll be writing a lot of complicated algorithms over there. and there will be multiple test cases against which it will be running. So why do we need multiple test cases in a program to check it? So what happens is, a lot of time, there are a lot of edge cases which we need to take care of. So for example, very large numbers, or a particular case, for example, let's say if I ask you to write a function that divides two numbers, and if on the other side I give you, as a denominator a 0, so your program will give an error. You need to consider that, case also, and take care of that. So that is why a lot of, different cases are provided to you from early on, so that you can run your program against it. Let me just run it over here and see what our result is. If you can see, our program is running against test01. Oh wow, it ran well against all the program. You can go over here and see what all inputs and output we have provided to you over here, and you will see over here there are so many different types, and all of them are simple, and that's why we are getting all of them right. What if I change it? If I change, for example, do some error over it. You haven't learned about conditional statement. Let's just instead of writing print side into side, let me just write print side alone. Okay. Oh, and just try to run it. You will see over here that I've got all of them as wrong answers. So it is a very important thing to remember, to take care of all cases. Your algorithm should be able to do each and every case. Now this interface that you're seeing is what you will get in companies also when you appear for interviews. They'll give you 1 or 2 questions to solve. Those will be obviously a bit harder than what we have done right now. This is just the first assignment. But in those cases, most of the companies consider your problem as solved only and only when you have passed all the edge cases, all the test cases. Even if there's one wrong, companies might not consider your problem at all to be solved. So this is something that you have to take care of. So this was one assignment. You can go back to the course and solve other assignments also of the operator part. We have added some more questions over there. So that was all for assignments. In the next class, we'll learn about conditional statements, and before that, we'll be actually learning about more different kind of operators, and we'll be talking about conditional operators. We'll be talking about assignment operators. We'll also be talking about logical operators. So that's all for today, guys. If you like this channel, if you like this video, do make it a point to like, subscribe, and share. Goodbye.